Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. Aid efforts are intensifying as famine threatens the war-torn Gaza Strip. Premier Sarawak Abang Johari receives courtesy call from newly appointed State Health Director, Dr. Veronica Luga. Meanwhile, Sarawak's green project are piquing Singapore's interests. Aid efforts are intensifying as famine threatens the war-torn Gaza Strip, with more desperate residents crying out and seeking relief shipments. Hamas authorities have reported over 40 airstrikes across Gaza, further worsening the situation while Israel continues to threaten ground assaults.
Following unsuccessful mediation attempts to broker a truce between Israel and Hamas militants for the month of Ramadan, hostilities persisted, resulting in at least 69 fatalities within the preceding 24 hours, as reported by the Gaza Health Ministry. The Health Ministry also reported that among the most recent casualties were 7 individuals who lost their lives when Israeli troops fired upon a group at an aid distribution point near Gaza City. The Israeli Defense Forces refrained from providing an immediate comment. Throughout this month, multiple nations have been conducting daily aid airdrops, with Germany announcing its decision to participate in the effort. Israel had conducted an unyielding campaign of bombardment and ground operations in Gaza, resulting in the deaths of at least 31,341 individuals, the majority of whom were civilians. On Wednesday, an Israeli airstrike hit one of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency's food distribution warehouses in Rafah, killing 1 employee and injuring 22 others.
Deputy Premier Sarawak, Dato' Amar Awang Teng Haliasan, welcomes the interest of Singaporean companies keen on investing in Sarawak's renewable energy as well as green and digital economy projects. Currently, on his working visit to the city-state, he added it is also in line with Sarawak's post-COVID-19 development strategy 2030. Awang Tengah, who is also the Minister for International Trade, Industry and Investment, had met with several potential investors from Singapore, including UOB Group, East Spring Investments, 2 Family Office and Campsign. Also present were General Manager of Sarawak Timber Industry Development Corporation STIDC, Zainal Abidin bin Haji Abdullah, STIDC Advisor Datu Hashim Bojet, Chief Executive Officer of Invest Sarawak, Timothy Ong, and Chief Executive Officer of Pusaka Capital Sendirian Berhad, Muhammad Nur Topek Julaihi. The Second Trunk Road STR project will cut travel time between Sibu and Kuching to a mere 3 hours once it is completed by 2027. Deputy Premier Sarawak, Dato' Amar Douglas Ugambas, said the project will also generate various positive spillover effects, in addition to creating new income-generating economic activities for the people.
Uga, who is also the Minister for Infrastructure and Port Development, said the project would improve access to remote interior areas.
Ini akan membuka kawasan-kawasan ini. Kita nampak banyak tanah-tanah, and that is will be an economic opportunity. Ini juga akan memendekkan travelling time dari even from Sibu to Kuching.
He said this after a site visit to the 3 STR road packages today. Spanning 13.7 kilometers, the 530 million ringgit Batang Samarahan to Batang Sadang Road would feature a 4-lane double carriageway. The project is set for completion by February 2027. Meanwhile, the 28-kilometer Batang Sadong to Sebuyau Batang Lupa Bridge would feature a 2-lane single carriageway and is expected to be ready by April 2028.
In a related matter, UGA warned that contractors who failed to deliver on their promise in implementing development projects in the state will be terminated immediately. The Deputy Premier said that strict measures have to be taken to ensure that all infrastructural projects in the state are completed and delivered on time.
Kita ada peraturan baru di mana kita kontraktor berjanji bahawa apabila dia masuk ke tapak pada satu hari bulan Mac, dia mesti ada kegiatan dalam kawasan itu by the end of March, 1 bulan. Kalau tidak, JKR reserve the right to terminate the contract.
He stressed that the state government takes every project seriously, as the public expects them to be completed as per the schedule.
Rakyat pun mengharapkan apabila kita umum, diharapkan dia raya itu siap mengikut jadual. Kerjaan GPS pun yang telah meluluskan projek ini oleh Premier, dan mereka pun yang berhormat pun mengharapkan bahawa projek ini siap mengikut jadual.
Premier Sarawak, Dato' Peninggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, on Thursday received a courtesy call from the newly appointed State Health Director, Dr. Veronica Lugah, at his office in Wisma Bapa Malaysia in Kuching. Dr. Veronica's delegation was accompanied by the Deputy State Health Director Management, Bangis Mungat, and the Deputy State Health Director, Public Health, Dr. Rohani Mat Bah. During the 30-minute visit, Abang Johari congratulated Dr. Veronica on her appointment as the new State Health Director, replacing Dr. Uy Chu Hak with effect from February 7. Previously, she held the role of Acting State Health Director. The President of the Sarawak Native Court of Appeal, Datu Thomas Akin Jelimin, who passed away on Tuesday, is described as an individual who contributed significantly to the customary law of the Dayak community. Deputy Premier Sarawak, Dato' Amar Douglas Ugambas, throughout his service, the late Datu Thomas was among the key figures who assisted the Sarawak government in formulating laws related to native customary rights, NCR land, Pulau Galau and Pemakai Menua in 2017 when the government amended the relevant ordinance.
The late Datu Thomas has been diligently helping us with his ideas and ways how to resolve the issues. He has been working very, very hard with us. Also, the latest program that we have, which involved him that much, was the upgrading of the native court. Yang Premier has approved the upgrading of the native court, and he is one of the personality that has been helping us to shape the direction of the native court.
He further added that the late Datu Thomas was directly involved in the process of upgrading the native courts of Sarawak. The late Datu also played a significant role in shaping the direction of the court. He breathed his last on Tuesday evening, March 12th, at the age of 74. Hailing from Ulu Bawan, Kanawit, he leaves behind a widow, Datin Nancy Anyao, a son and 2 daughters.
The search and rescue operation for the latest victim of the boat capsizing incident in Kapit will be bolstered by assistance from the K9 Bomb Detection Unit. 2 Fire and Rescue Department officers, along with a K9 detection dog named Bella, have been deployed to Kapit from the Serian Fire and Rescue Station. Cebu Zone Fire and Rescue Department Chief Senior Fire Officer Andi Ali said that the search for another victim, the still missing 28-year-old Constable Iskandar Ibrahim, will continue with the help of the detection unit.
Usaha mencari mangsa terakhir masih giat dijalankan dan kita akan mempertingkatkan kekuatan pasukan pencarian dengan mengerahkan unit anjing pengesan K9 yang dijangka akan mengikut operasi SAR hari ke-8 esok. Anjing pengesan iaitu Bella akan diiringi oleh 2 orang pegawai dari Balai Bomba dan Penyelamat Serian telah bertolak ke Kapit pada jam 10.55 pagi hari ini.
ND said that alongside the K9 detection unit, the search operation is anticipated to include the Water Rescue Team PPDA from Zone 4 Cebu.
Kita juga telah mengarahkan pasukan penyelamat di air PPDA dari JBBN Zone 4 Cebu dan mereka kini telah diarahkan untuk bersedia atau standby mode untuk turun terlibat dalam operasi pencarian sekiranya dalam keadaan memerlukan.
As of 5 p.m. on Wednesday, the last victim remains unfound.
The Sarawak Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living (KPDN) has received 489 complaints related to online transactions last year. KPDN Sarawak Director Matthew Dominic Barin said that this is followed by 353 complaints on prices and 208 complaints on controlled items.
Dan jangan kita mudah percaya terhadap apa yang ada dalam talian tu. Yang pertamanya kita perlu rujuk pada pihak yang berwajib. Contohnya kita kena pastikan dulu sama ada wujud tak transaksi ataupun wujud tak perniagaan ini. Kita boleh rujuk kepada pihak SSN, SKMM ataupun pihak KPDN juga.
Commenting on the complaints on prices, Matthew said buyers have a right to pay a lower price if the displayed price and scanned prices differ. KPDN also introduced a price catcher application to assist consumers in checking the prices of goods and services before making a purchase.
Ada yang RM7.99 harga ayam standard tadi ni. Yang ada kuku, ada kepala semua ni. Ini dipanggil ayam standard. Ayam super tu lain yang dah dipotong kaki, potong kepala dia. So di sini ada yang sampai RM10. So dari RM7.99 sehingga RM10 ni. Jadi okey, kita klik yang ini, dia akan tunjukkan ways ke mana kita nak pergi beli.
Previously, KPDN made improvements to the application so as to be more informative and interactive, ensuring that users can utilize the application as a guide to view, monitor, and make informed choices.
Coming up right after the break, more and more Malaysian women are vaping. And in world news, 280 school children kidnapped in the latest mass abduction in Nigeria. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned.
Aku tu benung bercerai. Tidak benung baru.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health said there is a rising number of women in the country taking up vaping or partaking in the use of electronic cigarettes. Deputy Health Minister Datuk Lukanisman Awang Sauni during Parliament earlier today said cooperation between all parties, especially members of Parliament, is needed to address the industry pressure regarding the control measures to be imposed on the tobacco and vape industries.
Data 2017 prevalent adalah sebanyak 2.8 dan pada tahun 2022 prevalent menunjuk peningkatan sebanyak 6.2%. Kalau kita lihat pengalaman apabila kita membentangkan GEG, berlakunya pertindihan pandangan apabila tekanan industri memasuki parlimen, industri berjumpa dengan ahli-ahli parlimen, ini mempengaruhi keputusan tersebut. Dan juga saya berharap agar sekiranya kita ingin benar-benar menolak tabiat merokok dan juga vape haruslah bermula daripada parlimen. Saya mencadangkan agar ahli-ahli parlimen, Puan Yang di-Pertua, supaya tidak mempraktiskan, mengamalkan hisap vape di premis-premis seperti parlimen. Carilah tempat yang bersesuaian.
He addressed a supplementary inquiry from Kapa MP Dr. Halima Ali on the government's strategies to enhance advocacy programs aimed at reducing smoking and vaping. Lukan Isman further said that the government currently plans to create a packaging strategy to be enforced as a standard for the sale of cigarette and vaping products. In the meantime, Lukan Isman mentioned that the KKM has also conducted 129 dialogues with non-governmental organizations and local authorities to deliberate on policies or effective enforcement measures to deter smoking activities in public spaces. He noted that this is one of the steps taken by the ministry and that they will implement enforcement as often as possible to help curb the smoking problem in open areas.
The federal government gave its assurance on the continuous stability of the prices of chicken and egg, as well as the relative stability of import price of corn and soy recently. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Datuk Seri Muhammad Sabu, said his ministry is confident that prices will be more stable if the ringgit gradually strengthens.
Hari ini ringgit kita 4.65 telah 4.69. Jadi ringgit mulai kukuh kembali. Kita harap ianya berterusan akan menjadikan import khasnya bahan-bahan makanan ternakan ini akan menurun. Dan sama ada kita nak sekat import ayam daripada luar, kita akan lihat keadaan pasaran dari masa ke semasa.
He explained monitoring carried out by the Department of Veterinary Services showed that the average price of chicken at farms recorded throughout the peninsula for 4 months since November 2023 was stable. He said this in Parliament today in reply to a question posed by Bayan Baru MP Sim Tsin, who wanted to know whether the price of chicken has risen sharply or faced a shortage of supply in the market after the abolition of subsidies and price controls, and whether subsidies for grade A, B and C eggs will continue. Mohammed said that currently the government's view of subsidies and price controls for grade A, B and C eggs will continue using the existing mechanism, and any policy changes will take into account all factors, especially the current supply trend.
The Works Ministry has spent 9.549 billion ringgit throughout last year to carry out its project. Its Minister Datuk Seri Alexander Nantalingi said the total expenditure represents 99.96% of the overall allocation of 9.553 billion ringgit received by the ministry.
Sebanyak 2,118 projek fizikal pembinaan dan 9,349 jumlah kerja fizikal penyelenggaraan dilaksanakan oleh KKR ataupun JKR. Bilangan dan kos yang dinyatakan ini adalah bagi projek kerajaan persekutuan sahaja.
He said this in response to a request by Tenggara MP Manzri Nasib for the Works Ministry JKR to state the number of federal and state government projects handled by the Works Ministry of Public Works Department in 2023 and 2024, as well as the cost and number of successfully completed projects. Meanwhile, Nanta said that under the fourth rolling plan implemented by JKR, Data up to February 15th indicated 475 new physical construction projects costing 18 billion ringgit. He added in 2023, 182 projects costing 4.63 billion ringgit were successfully completed, while as of February 15th, 16 projects costing 91 billion ringgit have been completed.
The government currently has no intentions of establishing a new social media law to regulate social media platforms. Communications Minister FAMINE LOOMS stressed that the government has never declared any intention to draft such legislation.
Saya belum pernah dengar akta regulasi platform. This is the first time I'm hearing it. Jadi pada waktu ini kementerian dan juga kerajaan belum ada cadangan untuk mewujudkan satu akta kawal selia untuk platform media sosial.
He said this after the launch of the Penyelesaian e-Pharmacy for mobile application on Thursday. Earlier reports surfaced that the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) was allegedly in the process of developing a framework that would require all social media platform providers to register with the Commission. Thus, the framework would then facilitate the regulation of social media within the country.
On to world news. China on Thursday slammed the approval of a U.S. bill that would ban TikTok unless it cuts ties with its Chinese parent company, as China vows to take all necessary measures to protect the interests of its companies overseas. The social media app has soared in popularity worldwide, but its ownership by China's technology giant ByteDance has fueled concern in Western countries.
On Wednesday, the U.S. House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved a bill that would force TikTok to divest from its parent company or face a nationwide ban. 352 U.S. lawmakers voted in favor of the proposed law and 65 against. President Joe Biden will sign the bill, known officially as the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act, into law if it reaches his desk. But the bill faces a tricky path to pass the Senate, where some are wary of taking dramatic measures against an app with 170 million U.S. users.
美方应切实尊重市场经济和公平竞争原则，停止无理打压别国企业，为各国企业在美投资经营提供开放、公平、公正和非歧视的环境。相关方应严格遵守中国法律法规。中方将采取一切必要措施，坚决维护自身合法权益。
China has also blasted Washington's move as the logic of a bandit.
美国众议院通过的这个法案，让美国站在了公平竞争原则和国际经贸规则的对立面。如果所谓国家安全的理由可以用来任意打压别国的优秀企业，那就毫无公平正义可言。看到别人的好东西，就要想方设法据为己有。 这完全是强盗逻辑。
Prior to the vote, Beijing had warned that the proposed ban would inevitably come back to bite the United States. China has blocked Western online platforms such as Facebook and X for years on its heavily censored internet. The app is at the center of a long-running tension between China and the United States, which have butted heads in recent years over technology, trade, and human rights issues. European regulators are also concerned about the app, with the European Commission on Thursday questioning TikTok and other platforms on what they were doing to counter the risk of AI to elections, including through deep fakes. Also on Thursday, Italy's competition authority imposed a fine of 10 million euros, nearly 51 million ringgit, over the app's failure to sufficiently protect minors. China has repeatedly lashed out at what it views as a concerted attempt to suppress China's rise.
Students were just about to settle into their classes after singing Nigeria's national anthem when the gunshots rang out and then chaos. It was around 8 a.m. on Thursday when dozens of gunmen dressed in military uniforms rode on motorbikes into the school grounds in Kuriga, a quiet agrarian village 100 kilometers outside the northwestern Nigerian city of Kaduna. More gunmen arrived from the rear on foot, blocking all exits as shots were fired into the air. By the time the early morning attack was over, more than 280 school children had been rounded up and kidnapped by the armed group in the latest mass abduction in Nigeria.
Kaina akwai yaro na dan firamare yana aji 6 ne, yana ta hannunsu. Ina kiran gwamnati ta taimake mu. Garinmu ba mu da 'yan sanda, garinmu babu soja, garinmu babu 'yan banga. Iyaka mu mutanen gari ne kawai a cikin garin nan. Duk lokacin da suka zo suka ga dama za su shigo su gita su ci karansu babu baka, ba mu da kowa a garin sai dai Allah, sai kuma gwamnati muke
ne muna cikin tafiya ne kawai sai Allah ya bani mafita. Kawai na ga wani ganya dan tara su security wanda suke tsaron mu, ganya dan tara na gaban shi kuma na bayan saboda sun fara gajiya su din da na ga ya gaji mata sun dan tare shi yana dan cikin rukunin mata. Kawai sai ni kuma Allah bani sa'a na ɗan yi sufa na haɗa wani haki na ƙara jan jikina ja jikina.
A gurguje muka yi noma a nan garin, kuma gonakin nesa ma ba su noma ba, sai na jikin gida, don dai mu ɗan samu abin da za mu ba bakinmu. To bana ma ga shi abin yana tsorata mu yana firgita mu. Muna ganin kan ma noman ba zai yiwu. Wannan abu ya fi ƙarfin mu.
It was one of the largest recent mass kidnappings by gunmen, known locally as bandits in Nigeria, where criminal gangs target schools, colleges, and highways as they hunt for large groups of victims to make ransom demands. Nigeria's security forces on Sunday were still hunting for Kuriga school victims and forests that spread across Kaduna and other states. In Kaduna, Kuriga's unfenced school, with its dilapidated 5 blocks, housed primary and secondary school sections. Security was basic, as in many such rural schools.
EU Parliament lawmakers voted on Wednesday to seek limits on duty-free imports of Ukrainian grain, which were allowed in the wake of Russia's invasion, but which have drawn fierce criticism from farmers in the bloc. The move comes as the European Commission prepares to renew the duty-free status for Ukrainian products, while also proposing various safeguard measures which could be triggered in the case of extreme necessity.
The measures include limiting poultry, egg and sugar imports to average import levels from 2022 to 2023. But a majority of MEPs voted to extend the limit, referred to as an emergency break to grains, amid claims by agriculture lobbies that the imports are unfairly driving down prices in the bloc. Poland, in particular, has protested the duty-free imports after several protests by angry farmers, which have also been seen in other EU countries. The Parliament's proposed amendment must now be negotiated with EU member states. A joint statement by 6 European farmers' organizations welcomed the vote, as it addresses the wider concern of different member states that are increasingly feeling the effects of the trade liberalization.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms at TV Sarawak. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.
Daripada siri